What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Yaya, and I'm back. Y'all thought I wasn't coming back. I thought I wasn't coming back either. I ain't even gonna lie to you guys. I'm not even about to lie to you guys. Okay, what you looking at right now is a diamond. Okay, I'm not the same girl. See, before I was a stone. Okay, but I don't went through some pressure in this season. I don't went through some fire, some crushing, and now what you're looking at is a diamond. Do you see me shining? That's not the glow of the sun. That's the glow of my natural. This is a refined diamond. So here I am, and I would like to present to you the one and the truly. That's Yaya. So I'm coming to you right now filled with joy, as you guys can see. But just to be completely honest, I have to catch y'all up. I gotta catch y'all up. Cause my friends don't get left in the dark. I'm about to tell you what's been going down. Been going down in my life. Ain't nothing about it been a song. To be honest, nothing about it's been a song. It's been a horror film. So just to catch you guys up, for the last 9 months, I've really been basically homeless. And that's been a lot. So for those of you who don't know, I've been living in Spain for going on about 2 years now. Okay, yo hablo español, period. And I had a flat and everything. If you've been watching my vlog, you can see my last flat and my previous videos. I knew going in that was only a 1-year contract, and I was like, okay, that's fine. So when the summer came and it was time for me to move, I just got back from Italy, and I was like, it's not gonna be, any problem for me to find housing. I'm already here. I got my documents. Like, how hard could it be? I didn't know that when I got my first flat that the requirements to get in a flat abroad were not necessarily the full process, because they were so desperate because of COVID. They kind of just let me in, and they bypassed certain requirements, including the fact that if you're a student here, okay, not an auxiliary or anything like that, if you don't have a work contract, they sometimes want 6 months up front, which can easily be a couple $1,000s, about $3,000 to $6,000, okay, which, even especially with these trying times, most people don't have $6K to just offer, okay? So that left me in a situation where I was in between housing. I was staying in an Airbnb at first, but right now they are price gouging. It's actually quite disgusting. And apartments that are run for like 500 euros, which is about 600 USD, are charging, I promise you guys, 1,200. And so I had to move out of the Airbnb because the guy was like, look, this is what I'm charging and people are buying, so I don't care. And I told him, like, straight up, I was like, sir, this isn't right. Like, we all went through COVID together, so what do you mean you have to make up for COVID? I was there too. What are you talking about? Nonetheless, I had nowhere to go. I was literally sitting in a McDonald's trying to figure it out, and not having money to be able to pay for Airbnb or anything like that due to the ridiculous pricing. So with that being said, I moved into a hostel. If you don't know what a hostel is, I'll put some pictures up. It's basically accommodation that's cheaper than a hotel. It's mainly common in Europe. I know growing up I didn't really hear about hostels or anything. It's just not as common in the US. And so it's basically a room. It can range from anywhere from 4 to 36 beds, and you share a bathroom. Yeah, yuck. No, yuck for real. But that was the only option I had, and I was thinking I'll be there for like maybe a week or two. No pasa nada. No pasa nada. Like, sin problema. Pero yo no sé nada. I did not know that God had a season prepared for me. I didn't know that what this season was going to entail. And actually, I want to thank God. Sometimes we want God to give us all of this information, and just know when he deals with us gracefully and strategically. There are certain things that we do not need to know in advance, okay? Feel me on that. feel me on that, because if God would have told me prior that I would have went through this season of the wilderness like that abroad, baby, I would have ran. I would have been on a flight back to Tampa, okay, at my parents' house, paying no rent. So I'm glad he didn't tell me beforehand. Anyways, ended up at the hostel. When I first got, I was maximizing. You see me, guys, I was in Paris, I was in Budapest, I was in Italia. Like, I was outside, because what I was doing was the money that I was paying every 5 days for the hostel. I was like, hold on, I'm technically a nomad. I thought that was cute. I'm a gypsy, baby. I was like, hey, move your body like a snake now. You know, so I used that money for another hostel in a different country, and it allowed me to travel, and it really kept me mentally like going. I was like, look at God doing what God do when he do it. And so it was great. It was great. Then I came back from the travels, and I was like, all right, God, wrap it up. That was cute. Testimony loading. My God is an awesome God he raised. Like, you know, I was just like, okay, let's go. And I didn't know that God was like, oh no, I'm about to use this. And so 1 to 2 months turned into 4. By month 4, I was starting to have problems. Some of the problems that I ran into was, 1, having to come up with money every single 5 days to pay the hostel. Also, the prices were never the same, guys. Some of the beds went up to, because it was a holiday weekend, it went up to 60 euros a bed, which is 70 USD for one night. So I'm having to come up with money every 5 days. They don't have a kitchen. They don't have a microwave. Nothing. So trying to eat was hard as well. And this is a lot of pressure on my family, because they have been my only sponsors, and not even just my family as a whole. It's been pretty much my mom and my dad, my parents really. And then my grandma has been helping. But other than those main support systems, consistently, it hasn't really been anything. And God told me for this mission that I would have sponsors, and that this mission would be paid for in full. And I'm still standing on those promises. So also, if you're listening to this, continue to listen. But if God has laid it on your heart to be my sponsor, my Cash App will be in the bio. I also can provide you my sponsorship letter. This is not a game, okay? I am out here on mission, okay? I'm literally learning a language to give back to the kingdom. So if you feel led, if you know that God is tugging on your heart, has been, please don't delay. This is not the season to delay. In general, okay? In general, okay? You feel me? I hope you feel me, because I feel you, period. Anyway, staying with strangers, I stayed with over 300 different people in the last 9 months. I've stayed with men, I've stayed with women. I've unfortunately experienced some very traumatic things. I've experienced drug addicts. I've experienced, sleeping with drug addicts. I've experienced sleeping with drunks. I've had spiritual warfare like none other. Spirits are real, guys. And so being in such close proximities with people who are battling and into different things, and I'm sleeping, I've had things try to spiritually attach themselves to me. I've had things try and become a part of me that are not me. Being in those close quarters and sharing space, I ended up getting extremely sick. I'm pretty sure I got COVID, and it was extremely intense, because I couldn't control the fact that I'm sleeping right next to this person. You get what I'm saying? And then to make matters worse, I also ended up getting a bacteria infection on my face. And to me, that was extremely traumatic. Like, I was like, at this point, God, like, you must get me out. I don't think I'm gonna make it. And like, the bacterial infection was a passed down infection, they told me, and it literally burnt off my skin. My skin is just growing back. I thank God it was something that was curable, and through medicine and prayer, I am fine. I'm back and I'm better. But that was intense. And that honestly wasn't the end of things. I'm really buffering some of the things that have happened. I experienced being in a room. I'm literally trying to do what I can to worship and to just still be linked in and connected. And a guy starts masturbating. I'm still mad about that. Like, was so upset because I already, like, I'm fighting to be there and I'm having to, go to school. Also, they couldn't keep me in the same room. So every single morning, this stuff in this picture, I had to pick it up and move it every morning, 9 a.m., 9 a.m., 9 a.m., 9 a.m., no matter what. And so I wasn't always all the way rested because I couldn't just sleep in or anything. And so when this guy did that, I was so like, I was so upset. And like, I remember I just ran out of the room because what else do you do, And I switched rooms, and sorry, it was just really hard for me because it just like I kept getting hit, and I realized like it really hit me. I'm like, I am thousands of miles away, abroad, no family here, no one to just call on. And to be honest, my friend circle here dwindled because some of my friends went back home, and I had, a smaller circle, and they did not, at the beginning, I will say, I want to clarify, at the beginning, my friends did not be friends to me in the way that I feel you should during that time. It was just me and God. I had an assignment that I completely let get out of hand, and I was experiencing emotional abuse from that. And it just got to a point where I was fighting depression by the hour. You know how people are like, oh, by the day, it's hard to get up. No, by like the hour, guys, I was like trying to fight it. And it just got to a point where I couldn't even fight anymore. I was so low. I just was going through the days. I'm like, I'm just here, God. You don't want me to go home. I also don't have $1,400 to fly home. I'm just here at this point. And I also begin to just have problems with like my outside self too, just being the fact that because I'm having to move rooms every single morning at 9 a.m., I ended up having to minimize my clothing. I also didn't have access to a washer all the time. So I had to wear the same clothes a lot, like I'm talking about 5 weeks straight, same outfit. Like, I'm not even being dramatic, y'all. And I know I didn't smell the best all the time. And I'm just being really candid with y'all because it was an extremely hard season. And then having to come up with the money every 5 days was a lot of pressure on my family. And it got to a point where I didn't have money and I wasn't eating. So, but I was drinking water to survive because you need water or you'll die. So I was drinking water, and that helped me, but it was hard. And then I ended up isolating myself because words became super triggering for me. Like at the end of the day, when I would hang out with my friends and I'll be having like a good time, and they'd be like, girl, they'd be like, I'm so tired. I can't wait to go home and just sleep in. I promise you, I would be holding back buckets of tears because I was like, if I could just, if I miss that. I miss having a home. I miss having a kitchen. I hadn't had a home cooked meal in over 7 months. So it just got to a point where I was just so low. I felt forgotten. I felt forgotten. I felt abandoned. I felt overlooked. I felt unseen. And I just questioned everything. I went to God over and over again. Like, why am I even still here? Did you send me here? I already have people who don't believe in this vision. Look at this now. Now I'm homeless. I'm staying in a hostel. Oh yeah, this really is going to fuel the fire of them feeling like you didn't send me here. And it just was really, really tough, guys. I just, words will not be able to really describe the level of toughness it was to be abroad like that, in that capacity, and questioning, did God really send me here? Knowing that he did, but I was so open for the enemy because so many things broke, like so many things were touched. My physical man was touched. I got a bacteria infection. I'm having COVID. I'm in the room with drunks and crackheads. I'm in a dirty room. Myself is dirty. I'm not being able to wash my clothes. I don't have food. Like, and I'm still trying to go to show up and be a functioning member of society. And so it just got to a point where I was just like, I'm not making it. Like, I had many breakdowns. But then I had an encounter. My mom called me and she was just like, I need to pray with you. And I know for sure that she picked me up in her spirit. And I'm so thankful. If my mom's watching this, I'm so thankful that you are so intentional with me as a parent, not just as my mom, but as a spiritual person that God called you to my life, because they are different. And I'm so thankful for that. So my mom begins to pray with me, and God just really entered the room. He entered the room, and for the first time in months, I felt so light, and I felt so free. And I remember, like, when I felt God's presence, I didn't want him to leave. I was like, please, wherever you go, I want to go, because I don't want to be here anymore. And it wasn't like in a way like a suicidal way. It was more like, this peace is so beautiful that I don't want to be anywhere away from it. So wherever I need to be to have it, I will go. And I remember God speaking some words to me, and I want to share with you guys a little bit of what he said to me during that moment. So one of the things he said to me was, I see you. He said, I see you, Kiana, and I am with you. He said to me, you are not forgotten. He said to me, though man may drop you 1,000,000 times, know that I, the Lord, will never drop thee. He said, take your eyes off yourself. He said, take care of my people, Kiana, and I will take care of you. Lean in. This is a birthing process. I am refining you, Kiana. The last thing he said to me that really rocked my spirit was, he said, Kiana, do you know the process of a diamond being made? And honestly, guys, I always heard pressure makes diamonds, but I never knew what that it really entailed. And then God told me to go watch a video about the process of how a diamond is made. I watched it and I cried so hard, y'all, because everything they described is what I was going through. I have been in that process. There's a breaking that happens. There's a burning. There's a fire that happens when the process of making a diamond. Did y'all know that a diamond is merely just a stone before the crushing and the breaking? Did y'all, like, I really want to soak into that. A diamond doesn't just come out a diamond, guys. At first, it's just a stone. But then there's a crushing, there's a breaking, there's a beating, there's a breaking away. And that's what makes the diamond. So honestly, guys, after that encounter, my entire perspective changed. Like, it was almost like God took my mind and was like, I'm cleaning it up. I'm cleaning it up. I'm cleaning it up. Then he's been talking to you. You have your ear here, but I'm cleaning it up. And my entire perspective changed. I felt on fire again. I felt hope rising up. I've always been a faithful person. I didn't realize that the enemy was coming for that directly. He was coming for my faith. Because when you got faith, you walk on water. He was trying to get me from walking off that water. But when I tell you that fire started rising up, because all it takes is an encounter. All it takes is a moment. So all of this fire started coming back. I began to change my self-talk. I began to look at my situation and say, well, you know what? At least I have a bed. I have a bed, okay? I have a bed. I have a shower. I have clothes. I have food. I have something. I'm alive. Okay, I'm alive. I'm walking. Some people can't walk. Some people can't see. So I had to also humble myself and say, no, that's not true. My whole life isn't falling apart. It's falling together. Okay, it's falling exactly where it needs to be. I had to find things to be grateful for. And I learned that even in our darkest hour, there's always light, guys. And I pray that if you're watching this and you are in a dark season, find your light, because it's there. There's always light. There's always something. There's always something, even if it's one thing. Tap into it. Last two things I want to share with you guys is one other moment that happened that really just set my spirits just in array. So I'm still at the hostel, and God told me there was a girl coming that he really wanted me to talk to. He even told me what she would be wearing. Some days and weeks have passed by. I'm like, I don't know where this girl at, but she coming. I randomly got put in a room, and there was this girl in there. She was smoking a cigarette. She didn't smell good. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to confront this girl, because I'm in this room choking. You know, the Europeans love their cigarettes. And you're not even allowed to smoke in the room. So I said to her, hey, can you please not smoke that in the room? And it was like a nice, nasty, like, thing. And she was like, I'm so sorry. She was kind of had like a French accent. She was like, I'm so sorry. I'm just stressed. I'm so stressed. Sorry. I don't even smoke. I'm sorry. So she went to go away. As I was turning around, God said, ask her why she's stressed. And I'm like, God, I don't care. I'm living in a hostel. She's stressed. Let me tell you what stress is. So I'm like in my head, and God, it's like you could feel God look at you like. And I was like, okay, I'll ask. So I said, why are you stressed? And she looked and was like, well, it's just depressing. You don't want to hear it. And I was like, well, what's going on? And so she then begins to tell me that she's been in an abusive relationship for 4 years, that she almost lost her life, that she was pregnant just a few days prior, and she lost her child due to the relationship. And she finally escaped, and she boarded the plane with just a tank top and shorts in the freezing cold and nothing to save her life. This was a young girl. She was about 22, y'all. And it was instant in that moment. I knew this was the girl that God wanted me to encounter. So I literally said to her, I said, but what made you come to Madrid? Because I'm thinking of all the places to go to, because she had said she's from Europe and she has family. She didn't go to her family. I'm like, what made you come here? Y'all, this girl says, I came here to find God. I came here for an encounter. And I was like, what? She then explains that she's been trying to get to the Camino de Santiago, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a Christian walk that people go to for clarity. And she said, I have to get to this walk because I need to find God again. She then tells me she used to be a Christian and she used to know God, but she said she lost faith in him because of this abusive relationship, and she felt like he couldn't have been there during this time. So I began to pray for her and speak words of encouragement to her. And I also was telling her, because she kept saying, I gotta get to this walk. I gotta get to the walk. I got to. I said, God is already here. You're already on the walk. He met you when you boarded the plane. I literally seen her whole spirit change. So God told me my assignment to her was acts of kindness, love, and to be a physical representation of the love that he has for her. And that's what I did. So God told me to buy her flowers and write her a note. The flowers, y'all, was like $6, and I had 3. Thankfully, I was still able to get the flowers for her. So I wrote her a note that God strategically wrote for her. And I gave her the note, and she was like, why would you do this for me? I said, because God told me to. And I hugged her. Girl, I hugged her like she was my best friend. And I told her, like, it's going to be okay. And the level of joy and thankfulness she had and the tears in her eyes, I know that this was so strategic by God. And I'm so thankful for that, the encounter I had with God weeks prior, because if I didn't have that encounter, I wouldn't have been in position to give to someone who needed me. She needed me to be there. God needed me to move. And so I'm so thankful that I was in position. And at the end of the day, I think sometimes we have to remember, like God said to me, take care of my people and I will take care of you. We're here for a greater purpose. We're here to uplift one another. And so I'm so thankful that I was able to get in position for that. After that, guys, I did spend more time at the hostel. It's been 9 months of journey, so you'll hear about this story just along the way. But I am now out of the hostel. Yes, your girl has officially moved out of the hostel. I'm in a studio. It's super, super cute. I would show you guys around, but I'm just moving in, to be honest. Like, I just moved in here like yesterday, and I have clothes and everything everywhere. So I really want to show you guys it when it's a little razzled out. But you know, I got all the flowers. Y'all love my flowers. I love them so much. I feel like they are a representation of the internal joy that I have, and they're like on display, and they just bring me so much happiness. I love flowers. So I'm out of the hostel. That season has finally ended. I really thought I was gonna come out of it crawling or not in my right mind, but look at me. I'm literally out here like just beaming with joy because God is so good. And even through that process, guys, he showed me so much favor. I had moments where I got the room for free. I had moments where people just gave me food. I had moments where, yeah, I had to sleep in the lobby, but I still wasn't on the street. I had so many moments of favor that even in my darkest time, the goodness of God still couldn't be ignored. The enemy tried to come for my faith, but you know what? It just went a little bit higher. And I hope God knows now too. Well, I even know now. God, you can send me anywhere. You can send me anywhere. You can send me anywhere and I'll be all right. I'll be good. I know it. And so I'm super thankful for that moment and that experience. Despite it all, I have some amazing things though up and coming, y'all. Like during the process, um, in that 9 months, there were things already happening to prepare for the summer. And I'm so happy I had those waves of like, okay, let me lean into that. And that helped me remember, Kiana, you're just passing through. I know you've been here 6 months, but you're just passing through. I know people here, even at the hostel, some of the workers think that you ain't never leaving, but you are just passing through. And I had moments like where my friends were planning trips for the summer. And at first I was like, no, I'm not, because I don't have anywhere to stay. And this, not. And that was the enemy trying to keep me in that moment again, when God is saying I'm just passing through. So yes, I am planning for the summer. And so I had so many moments of favor and love where I had, God, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I really need y'all to know this. I didn't realize how broken I was over friendships. I've just had a lot of different friendships, and I've had a lot of people drop me. And God also took this time to restore my broken heart when it came to friends. God used strategic people to love on me, to encourage me, to do things that I didn't have to even ask for, to restore my faith and love and friendship and equally yoked people. I am so thankful, like so thankful. I literally had friends like do things for me that I was like, my mouth is open. I have no words. And thank you. If my friends are watching this, thank you. You know who you are. I also just have very just favorable things. Like I have certain trips, guys, that I'm going on. And like a few days, don't play with me, in a few days I'm going on that my friends blessed me, okay? Some of them don't want their business out there, but just know I was blessed, okay? Like so many, I've had so many friends when we were planning trips, I didn't know how I was gonna be able to go. I'm like, I don't know. But they were like, oh, I got you, girl. I already paid for you. Oh, I had already covered it. And so I'm so thankful that I leaned into that and I didn't lean into where I was at the moment, because now that I'm out of that season, it's like I get to celebrate. I get to celebrate me making it through my wilderness season. And I have trips planned. I have vlogs up and coming. I have so many things for you guys that you're going to be like, what the heck? Like, this is giving diamond. This is giving diamond, okay? This is giving what a diamond gives. And I'm about to shine on. So thank you guys so much for watching. This was just a little bit of update on what's been going on in my life. Don't worry, the videos and stuff are coming. At one point I also wasn't recording because yes, I didn't have a space to record, but guys, I've been wanting a MacBook Pro for over 10 years. I'm still in full faith and belief that I will get one soon, because I really want my video quality to match the quality of what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about God, and I just feel like it needs to match. God is a God of excellence. I need my videos to be of excellence. So continue to be in faith agreement for that with me. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, guys. I literally post so much on there. It's like a different level of access. So It'll be in my bio. Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you watching this and you feel led to give, to be a sponsor, I have sponsorship letters to sow into this vision. It'll be in my comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be seeing you soon, and stay forever blessed. Ciao.
I dig a vibe. She ain't got no way but got thighs. Hop in the coupe and let's ride. I put Chanel on my eyes. 2 carry for